Alright, welcome back guys. So I've done a little bit of work off camera, but I'll kind of catch you guys up here. So I got the engine fully mounted in. I re-clearanced the rest of this so we could get this mount in. I had to make some modifications so this top mount would go through. I also got the amen springs back in so I could do the axles and stuff. All I got to say about that is make sure you have a pry bar and you ate your Wheaties this morning, because that was a lot of work getting those back in. What I'm currently working on is getting the front end installed. So here's the tree from the 750. I've already taken the old bearing race off and everything, lower bearing race. Remove the bearing races out of here, and you can see I have a tapered race up here and a tapered race also down under here. Maybe. Probably can't see that because it's really dark. But I'm using the all balls kit for a CB750. It's part number. So now there's a million videos on how to install bearing races and stuff like that, so I didn't bother showing any of that. The big key with this one is this kit comes with 2 washers. So there's a thinner washer and then a thicker washer. And now before I install the lower bearing on here, I got to figure out which one of these washers I need to use based on how the bearing fits. So basically what you do is you stack it up like it says in the instructions, so washer, seal, bearing, and then you hold it up with your hands to see if it's, you know, level with the bottom there. It's the best I've heard about these amen frames, putting the tapered bearings in, so that's what I got to do now is see what size washer I got to use for these, for the bearings in here. So let me get you guys switched around so you can kind of watch what I'm doing here. So I can't find my tripod anywhere, so I'm just going to do this kind of by hand. A little shaky. I have everything set up over here. I have the seal and the bearing. So I got to push make sure the bearing's all the way seated in the seal. So it goes the seal, the bearing. We'll try the thin washer first and see. Whoops. See how this fits. Sorry about the shakiness with the camera. Let's see, maybe that's a decent view. Looks like it is. So basically just going to put the bearing in the seal. I keep saying that and I don't do it. And put this first washer on and push it all up into here and see how it fits. So I can tell already it's probably going to be the thin washer because this one is too thick. Bring you guys in here, so I have the seal and the bearing up in here, and then I've taken the washer, put it on here, and right there it's pretty much flush with the bottom of the steering head. So that'll be the bearing I'll use, or the washer I'll use. So it'll go on here like that. And then I gotta get this back out of here. Sorry about the camera work, it's all over the place. But I'm just gonna kind of set you guys in here the best I can. Now, try to pull these out of here gently. There we go. Blind myself with a light. And this is gonna go over that. And the bearing will go on. It's got to be kind of tapped on, so I will put a little grease on there. Ooh, juicy. I'm going to grease the back end and grease up the inside here. I actually need to pack this bearing before I install it, so I'll be right back. So right now what I'm doing is I'm packing the bearings. I figured I'd show a little bit of this. I've already done the lower bearing, but I'll do the upper bearing here on camera. Those are never done. Sorry about the garage heater, it makes a lot of noise. But basically you have your bearing, gloves on, And what you're doing, I mean, it's a pretty simple procedure. Just, you know, taking a glob of grease, putting it in your hand, and you take the bearing and you just take small little bites out of it like this. And basically what you're doing is just shoving all that grease up into the rollers until it kind of comes oozing out. Then you know that it's really packed in there. They have little tools for this too, but I don't have one, and this is pretty much just as easy. So basically it's not glamorous and it takes a little bit of time, but you just, you know, you get some grease stacked up in there, so you just push it out. And you just keep on going here, and you kind of see how it's starting to ooze out of the rollers there. I don't know if you guys can see very well or not. The lighting's not the greatest. My head's a shadow, but that's about it. So this is the top bearing that I'm doing here. So I'm just going to get this all packed in here, and you can kind of see around the bottom areas you missed because there won't be grease packed in. But the biggest thing you want to see is starting to ooze out around the rollers. Then you know the grease is fully up in there to the point where it's pushing out. Then some extra grease, I usually throw it in the races before I, you know, drop the bearings in. So it's a messy procedure, but it's an important one because you want to make sure these head bearings, because this is not a greasable steering stem like some bikes. Like my Harley has a greasable steering stem, so you can shoot some more in there if you need to, but this does not. So make sure these are very well greased and then get them seated. So I'll come back once I get going to seat some of these in and get them installed on the bike there, but that's just so you get the idea. It's really messy, it's not glamorous, but it works. Alright, now I'm going to go to slide the tree in here. I got the lower bearing all set already. Seals, my upper bearing. So let's get her together here. Maybe get that open. There we go. Tell you one thing, that lower bearing seat was kind of a bear, but got it done. So we're going to do the upper bearing. Maybe. Nope. Seems to be a bit of an issue here. Set this out a little bit. Set that there. Alright, it was just a very, very tight fit. I got her on there. Now we'll put the seal in the smaller washer, and now we'll screw the head on here. Gonna work it back and forth. I'm gonna tighten this down. I'm gonna tighten it pretty tight once to set the bearings in, then back it off to allow for I don't have a standard wrench, so I'm gonna have to just use a old-fashioned way. I'm just gonna go down until it's snug is all. Right there. Just get the bearings, they feel good, smooth, and actually feel like I almost go a little bit tighter. We'll call that good for now. Feels nice and solid. If we need to, we could always loosen it up a little bit. Yeah, they feel really good. So there it is. Tapered bearings in an amen frame. So we can go ahead and grab top tree. Set it on here. Make sure that's set all the way there. There we go. There you have it. There's the trees back on. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the CB750 trees, but they're what I got, and so we're just gonna make them work. Still gotta figure out what to do with this, the handlebars. But I got a couple wheels in here because I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to use the Harley wheel, because the Harley wheels run a tapered bearing similar to the neck bearings. And I can't find one with a 20 mil inner diameter, so because this has a 20 mil axle, unless I find all new axle holders to take 3/4, so I might have to run the CB wheel that I have off the donor bike, but we'll see. I keep playing with it. But thanks for checking it out, and catch you on the next one.